He took the blame. Who the Son has set free. I am a child of God. He took my place. And for this church reflect, sorry, just to wipe my eyes a sec. My wife and I, Fiona, moved to Ely 25 years ago because we knew there was a voice within us, if you heard the voice of God, because that's the topic of what I wanted to speak on today, is hearing the voice of God, is when you know you've heard God. And we went to 4 other churches in Ely. Sorry, one of them wasn't. 3 of them were in Ely. Seeking, because we want to reach the community for the Lord. And we were just hearing that voice in there. I wish it was a voice that would just say, Clive, this is what, but it's not like that. It was just impressed. And even then, I know some of us know Western counties. I go once a year to Bristol, give a report. I was just sitting there, and this is why I got emotional. Up on the screen, I put the name. Reflect. And I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's for. But I know that one day God is going to use that. And I only just realized that because I must have looked the right idiot standing up in the pulpit giving my report with the word reflect up there. But that last song, we remember who all this is for. 23 years went past. But I knew in there it was the old Ely Gospel Hall. I had no doubt. I don't know why. I knew it. And 13 years ago, I first went with a guy, Glyn Davis, with Phil Davis, to Ely Gospel Hall, wanting to do a work, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out. But I knew that voice in there that was there. It's just being filmed. It's just going to be put on the internet. Oh, I won't say it then. But I knew that God had a work for me at Ely Gospel Hall. And just a week before COVID, when I was given the keys and we had a team come. Now at the moment, and I've got to be careful with names because that was the easy bit, doing the work. And then we opened the doors. Goodness me. It's never what you expect, is it? You think they're all going to come in shouting, hallelujah. No, they don't. What's that there for? Why are you doing this? How come you got that? How come you're not doing that? Why did you do it that way? I think, goodness me, I've got a bullseye on my back. They think I'll start shooting arrows. But God is doing the work, and we have, at the moment, if everyone was to turn up every week, there'd probably be about 20 that are coming. But this was for me, my biggest issue. Clive, my wife Fiona, my daughter Abby, my daughter Alicia, my son-in-law Will, my son-in-law Scott. 6 of us are family. And it's interesting how family automatically make it theirs. And pressing, and listen, and I've said this so many times to them, this is not ours. It belongs to God. This is His work, it's His building, it's His place, we belong to Him. Let's make sure that people, when they come in, they don't just think they're joining a family of Cornishes, because that's not how it is. Now we have got, I had to sit them down to remind me, I'll call it J, autistic, S, suicidal thoughts every week, a self-harmer, N, suffers with depression, J, very low self-esteem, L and H, who don't come anymore because they just can't cope being in there. Battered wife, I knew her when I was 12 actually, lives right next door to our church. Lovely couple, but struggles being in amongst people because just can't cope. Being amongst, when I say no confidence, I mean no confidence. and I can be confident in saying this because I don't think she'll ever see this, and I don't think she'd mind anyway, is that her confidence is so low, even though I get on with her. When we got 4 different groups meeting at the hall now who are not Christian, and one of those is bingo, and I found out a few weeks ago that bingo actually means complete. It's done. So I said, when I say that the Lord completed everything, you can go bingo. But it wouldn't sound right, would it? It wouldn't. That's why I don't do that. It wouldn't sound right. But Leo, who was next door, such a damaged person in battered relationships right the way through her life. How do you reach people like that? How do you get them to come? And that's the battle that we're facing at the moment, is how to get people to come, which is why we have structured Reflect around the coffee shop. The coffee shop isn't open yet because we are still looking for funding. I was saying to Andrew, I picked at 8 o'clock this morning, picked up a dishwasher, a commercial one for the coffee shop because it was cheap. Using a lot of second-hand things, but people who are coming in now, we've got bingo, strengthening club, kids club. Remind me that I'll tell you about the kids club now. They're starting this week, and there's another one who I can't remember. Oh, and a knitting club. But they're coming into the church, and this is what I like. A lot of them say, oh, there's a nice feel about this place. So we got the notices or the little thing, you are welcome here 3 o'clock every Sunday, but just got to love them. Just got to love them. Because a lot of them don't even believe in God. Not interested, being so hurt in their lives. And I've joked before, and I joked earlier, Ely don't get up till 2 o'clock on a Sunday, so the service is at 3. In other words, we are structuring the church around the community. And I tell you what, that's been a battle. Because of the way the Christian's mind is focused, the way that it's tuned in. How come you're doing the bread and wine there? How come you're there? Oh, for goodness sake. Let's just do it. Stop whinging and moaning and get on with it. God's got a plan. Let's just go with the plan. And the plan is win these people. He said himself, I have come to seek and save those who are lost. So let's seek them. Let's see them saved. Don't expect them to walk in and say, I'm going to ask Jesus and their lives be transformed in an instant. It doesn't work like that. It's going to take work. And the kind of people that we're working with, it's difficult. It is not easy. And I know you know that. But we have to stay with them because we want to win them. 2 weeks ago, we've just started, we dug the path. It's a 20-metre path by 2-metre path, going right up to the coffee shop entrance, and it's right by a bus stop. And this woman shouts over, she said, oh, excuse me. So I went over, and she said, I've been working down the church down the road during the summer, doing a kids club, and I won't be doing it there anymore, but I would like to continue. I won't go into the story, I don't need to. I'd like to continue. I've got 70 people, 70 parents that send their kids on a weekly basis, but I have to stop at 25 because I only have enough manpower to do 25. Can I come and do it at Reflect? And this was my answer. If these railings weren't in between us, I would come and kiss you now. But thankfully the railings were in the way. I said, my daughter only came to me a couple of days ago and said, Dad, we're going to have to put a halt on the children's work. We just haven't got enough time to do it. So, and it's a bit disappointing. So Abby and Will have met with these couple of ladies. They're already DBS checked. They're already sorted. They're starting their work this week. Now, we could say as Christians, we go, oh, are they saved then? Are they, what kind of people? No, we don't. Because the first thing I said, well, we'd love to come and help. Are you okay to work with us? We'd like to be involved with it. So whether they're Christians or not is irrelevant. The community wants to come into the church and do a work. We've got community doing bingo. A couple of them come to church. They're asking questions. One of them went to one of the clubs, the camps that you go away. I can't remember what it's called now. Youth Trek, is it Youth Trek? Something like that. So we got conversations with them. In the knitting club, she's my neighbour. It's making those connections with people, because we are not weird, strange people. We're not. I don't like people thinking that I'm weird and strange. I'm an ordinary person that has found Christ, that has found the freedom that we're talking about. Now, I've probably used this here before, but Rick Warren uses that word shape. And we know that Reflect Church is not going to be the ordinary shape, the normal shape of a church. So shape is, find out their spirituality. Where have they come from? What's been put in them during their life? What is it that's damaged them? What is it, the spiritual aspect of their life, that is positive in their life? What's making them tick inwardly? Because we are more spiritual people than we are physical. Once our spiritual side leaves us, we're dead. The body's not going to move anymore. We are far more spiritual. So find out what's damaged them inwardly, and we can work with that. Just on Thursday last week, I was so encouraged. We have probably 12, 13 come to the Bible study and the prayer. I am embedded. I mean, my foundation for me is prayer. Without it, we're not going anywhere. That rhymes. But they came, and it just happened. We didn't ask it to happen. What people thought of Reflect. It's free. No, I don't mean free in that. It's free. I can come and be who I am. I don't need to be anybody else. I feel comfortable. What did Scott say? Because Scott is my son-in-law, and he said it goes, oh yeah, he said, what I like about Reflect is the other churches I've been involved with, you go there and it's church. When I came to Reflect, I realized that it's outward looking. And that is key for us. It's got to be outward looking, not inward. You know, even though we do obviously need taking care of and looking after, my hope and prayer is that those Christians that are there are mature enough to understand that we're looking outward. And you're a part of looking outward. And H is your heart. What is your heart? And the first thing I say, listen, don't come here thinking you're going to sit in the pulpit and do nothing. Sit in the, not the pulpit, what they call in the pews, and do nothing. It's not happening. Because I'm telling you, I'll be looking what you're good at. I'll be looking for where your gifts are, and I'll be asking you to use them. Don't come and just sit there being spoon-fed because you're only going to get fat. It's not going to happen. A, what's your ability? What abilities do you have? This was a blessing last week, is that I mentioned Jay, who was really, really low self-esteem, and she's not a Christian. I did not know that. Shame on me. I did not know that. Fiona told me. And she came to me at the end of the meeting 2 weeks ago and said, would you mind if I got up and sang a song? I was not expecting that either. I said, can you sing? Honestly, I would never have thought she could sing in her life. Well, she wanted to sing One Day at a Time, Sweet Jesus. So I said, well, I'll find a karaoke version on YouTube, and next week when you come, and it happened to be your birthday, you can get up and sing. Well, Joan got up and sang. No, I'm just being honest, she wasn't the best singer. But man alive, it broke me. Just as here getting up there and singing a song. It was, so we found an ability that she can get up and sing. Another ability she has is, and I only saw it last week, she's willing. She can make coffee, she can make tea, she's willing to talk to people. So her ability is communication. Get involved with communication. P is your personality. And that is so important. You know what? Being around the same kind of people, the personality. Isn't it amazing? Sometimes you can walk into a room, or you could be just sat here actually, and somebody could walk in, you could feel them walk in. It creates an atmosphere. And you look around, and you think, oh, I do. I don't know if you get that, but you do. All of us together make the atmosphere of what church is. Now, if I got up here today, for an instant, just for an instance, Andrew started. He started by reading the Bible and reading. And welcome Clive, you know, it's a real joy. There's an atmosphere being created, you know, and we're all looking forward to Clive because he's really G'd me up, and what you're doing reflect, and you think, oh, we can't wait. And I get up and I go, good morning. It's great to be with you today. Suddenly, what Andrew has done in building the atmosphere up, which is an invitation to the Holy Spirit, suddenly I'm bringing you all back down, and your expectancy is suddenly gone. Because we are more spiritual than physical. We, the people, build I'll call it atmosphere. We build and structure that atmosphere that people feel and sense by their spirit when they come in. So in Reflect, when they walk in, there's music playing, just lightly in the background. There's cups of coffee going round. There's noise. There's happy people. There's people that are shouting, and there's a couple of kids as well that are running around. We chose not to separate the kids. I don't know how you do it, but this is how we do it. Because at the back we've got something similar to that, but they're folding doors that open right up. So they open right up. The kids are there. Let them make a noise. Let the preacher struggle. You know, the kids are there. The kids are probably sucking it all up. It's the man who's 54. They're saying, oh, hang on a minute. No, they're making a noise. Well, let me struggle. Because they're going to get the word of God. So that's personality. And the last one of the word shape is E, which is experience. God knows where you've been. God knows who you are. He knows all the experiences of your life. And for me personally, I am big on this. All that I've been through in my life, whatever it is, I'm an open book. And I don't hold anything back. And that is why when people come to reflect, I believe part of the reason anyway, and why they were able to say on Thursday, I can be who I am, and I don't need to become anybody else. And they're people with autism. Jay, and actually I can say Jo, her name is Jo, what a lovely, we had the churches together because I feel that we need to be churches together in Ely. So I send out invitations. There was only 2 churches, myself, or not myself, Reflect Church and New Ely Church. They came and we're together. And they had 30 in their church before COVID. Now they've got 10. And the others are not coming back. And they've been told they're not coming back. So they needed encouragement. They all, on the Saturday before they came, all of the windows in their church was put through. They're really going through a tough time. So I said, well, what can I do for you to help you out? Do you need any help? And he said, you can come and cut the grass if you want to. It's a lot of grass, a lot of pushes. But myself, and you saw the 74-year-old on there, and I said, not bad for the 74-year-old. He was on I got an industrial lawnmower. He was on there, I was on the strimmer. We done all of the grounds, cut them all down, just to try, because we want unity. And unity takes work. I was thinking, I could be at Reflect Church. While I'm doing nothing, I'd be at Reflect Church. That grass needs cutting. What am I here doing this for? For unity. That's why. How is God going to work in our area without unity of churches? When people look in and all they see is division and separation amongst the churches of Ely. It can't be. We have to strive to work together. And I don't care about the little things that we don't agree on. It's about reaching the people of Ely. Another thing that God is working with me personally is a few months ago actually, I had a phone call from a guy who makes documentaries, and he wants to make a documentary on my life, on the crosswalking, and I asked him to include Reflect, because in all honesty, I can't stand church. God, it drives me nuts. Well, why does it drive me nuts? Well, because there we have to be together. We have to be in unity. And it's been a struggle of my life. So the problem isn't what church. The problem is with me and is part of God's plan. We cannot run from God's plan. I've met lots of people, particularly when I've been out walking with the cross. Oh no, I'm a born-again Christian, but I don't go to church. And I always say to them, I said, oh, goodness me. And that's how I do that. Oh. Why do you hate church? And they normally go to somebody, they've been hurt by somebody, someone did this. So I've said, listen, that's people. Unfortunately, that's people. And this is what we do to get past that. We look past the people. Because if you're looking at people, you're going to get hurt. We've been married for many years. Have your wife or husband never hurt you? Of course they have. Even your own children, of course they do. Because we're people. There's only one person that's not going to hurt you. There's only one person that's not going to let you down. There's only one person that is truly faithful, and that's Jesus. So let's look past the people, and let's keep our focus on Christ, knowing that we're going to be involved with all of these people here that drive you nuts, that hurt you, that stick the screwdriver in the back, or whatever they do. Let's keep focused on Christ. He is our reason, is Jesus Christ. Matthew 5 talks about us being salt and salt and light. And I know that you know this, that salt brings out the flavor. When you throw it on dinner or you put it on, that's why we do it, because it brings out the flavor. We want our church to, when people go there, they think, oh, wow, this is good. Not if they walk and they go, oh, good morning. Good to have you here. And because spiritually and with their understanding, they're thinking, crikey, I can't wait to get out. No, it's a joyous place to be. I love being in church. I come to life when I'm in church, because I'm going to be there in the presence of God. He's going to be with me. He's going to be doing things in my life. He's going to be speaking to me. I wanted to share this this morning, and I was thinking about this on the way over this morning, because when Andrew said to me, bring an encouraging word, I really did want to bring an encouraging word. And these were the kind of thoughts that went through my mind. At the walk of my Christianity, when I went full-time, with counties, Crinder has had me come in as a speaker since then. Now, I know I'm pretty rough now, and I'm pretty straight, but I dread to think the kind of things that I said from the pulpit in those days. But I do know a couple of mouths did open, now and then, or a laugh of surprise. And I used to ask myself, how is Crinder, and I did, how is Crinder supporting me? How are the others, how are they supported? I just didn't get it. I didn't understand. But now, I look back, and Crinder's played a big part of my growth, of allowing me to be who I am, allowing me to find who I am. In other words, God found me how I was, and He's changed me into who I am. Now, for some reason, and I know it's down to God's purposes, they look at me in Reflect Church as the senior pastor, the senior leader. Now in here I'm thinking, goodness me, are you kidding me? Seriously, I do. It's nuts. But they do, and they say, no, Clive, you'll have to have the last say on this. But the last say is based on what the Word says. So therefore, I haven't got to worry about nothing. I know we have different interpretations. Believe it or not, the first big thing that came up is, should we have women speaking from the front? Now, I could get into that. It's a deep theological thing in it. But I had to make the final decision. And I know you're all thinking, what did he decide? What did he decide? Yeah, ask me after. No, I tell you what I decided, because my interpretation of 1 Timothy chapter 2 was a bit different to the guy and his interpretation. My interpretation was that when Paul said this, at that time there was a goddess called Diana. The women were in charge of the church. The men were staying quiet. They weren't doing any work. They weren't doing anything because the women were. And we know men, these women could be strong, can't they? if we don't hold them back. No, no, I don't mean that at all. I don't mean that at all. That's my interpretation. And the women were putting themselves above the men in Ephesus. And forgive me if you have it, and I know there'll probably be one or two, but it's not one of the great important issues in church for me. That was my interpretation. We prayed about it, sought God, and then we had a woman speaking, and she was brilliant. Brilliant. A woman has a total different, I didn't intend to go with this, a totally different understanding of a woman than a man does. But she was great when she came. But that's just, forgive me, I don't want to offend anybody with that. So I said that this was going to be hearing the voice of God. How do you hear God? How do you hear God? Because it's so easy, and I know this from experience, it's so easy to go, the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Oh, Lord, speak to me, Lord. Lord, speak to me. Father, speak. Well, shut up then. Give me a chance to speak to you. And then when we give the Lord time to get in there, for me, this is what happens. I start thinking, I wonder how many chairs are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonder how many. I do. My mind goes everywhere. Do you know, let me tell you, strangely enough, when I give the Lord more time to speak to me, and I don't know why this is when I'm running or when I'm doing a physical work. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I'm into something deeper. Maybe it's because my mind is more open when I'm running and do it. I got no idea. But that's what I hear him more. When is it? What is it do you have to do to hear God's voice? Because 25 years ago for me, I knew it. I heard God's voice. I knew it was going to be Ely Gospel Hall. I knew God was going to do work. And this is what I'm saying to the people that come in to the church now. Let me tell you, this is what I say to them. Let me tell you something. God is going to do a work in this place. I don't know what he's going to do. But he's going to do a work here by his Spirit, and it's going to be different. All of the work has been totally renovated. It's cost £30,000. The coffee shop now, we're struggling a little bit, but just yesterday we were told we were going to have £3,500 towards it. So that's why I'm already out looking at stuff, nicking money from here, nicking money from there. I'll pay it back later. Because I want the coffee shop open so that people can come in. We've just left wood. You know how people are nosy? So there was all windows. All I've left is a little square window to look into the church, because you know they're going to go. You know, they're going to have a little peep about, just to get conversations going. I want to sing you a song. I went on that documentary and I met with this guy. It's for the BBC. It's a 15-minute film. I didn't realize films cost so much. But out of the hundreds, we got through to 20. He went and spoke with the BBC last week. They were asking what kind of person I was and all that, even though we had a video and things. And he said, it sounded really good, but the walk is going to be this. And I loved the way that he went with this. He said, he said that they want a producer, one of those from the BBC, said, why don't we stick a load of tents at the bottom of Snowdon? Clive can be in there and we can make it. Oh, is he going to make it? Is he going to do it? You know, is he going to be able to get that cross to the top? And this guy, Joseph, turned around and said, no, that's not what it's about. The documentary is about the story of Clive carrying the cross and his life. That's what we want to make the documentary about. And they said, okay. So on the 20th, they're going to let us know whether they have or haven't. But Joseph, who's made a number of things for the BBC, said, even if they say no, we're going to go ahead and make it, because there is something in this. God's doing something. I got no idea. I don't know. Where do I go there? All I can say is God's doing something, and we're a part of it, aren't we? And I know just by a couple of short conversations, by coming in here today, that you've faced a couple of disappointments. We've only been open since the 31st of May, and already we've had a couple of people leave. What can you do when you don't expect it and it happens? But I can promise you this. God's got a plan for this place. He has. Do you know what I said in there? I know he's got a plan for this place. You just got to seek God, seek his voice. What can we do, Lord, to serve the community so that they come to us and we can reach them? Now, you have to hear me properly with this, because if I was to smack the Bible on the head of some of these people that are coming in, they're never going to come again. But if I love them, they keep coming back and they start asking questions. Times have changed. God does use it sometimes in that way, but gone are the days when I can stand out there shouting the gospel. It works for some people, not for me. But when they're in, let's say, Reflect Church, under the roof of the church, and we're loving them as they are, not how we want them to be, the tide changes, doesn't it? And God starts working in their life. You've heard this song before, but this was a last-minute thing this morning. Literally, as I was walking out the door, I turned around and got my guitar because I wanted to sing it again to you. Because it's called Building His Church. Because he is building his church, not us. We are just doing what we're called to do. He is building his church.